Hey there, welcome. Welcome to Rise and Receive. This is a reset point in your day where you get to stop whatever you're doing and take a little break to explore how to receive your fulfillment by unlearning struggle. So today we're doing part 2 in a 3-part series on receiving things. So if there's something or a number of things that you want in your life and you feel like it's off in the distance, or you wonder how you're ever going to receive this in your life, or you've been working really, really hard for it and it still hasn't arrived, then I invite you to settle in because I think you're really going to like what we're going to unpack today. If you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I show hardworking, goal-oriented people the blind spots that keep them from receiving their long overdue rewards. And the way that I do this is I teach the very tangible and results producing skill set called receiving. I have a 3-step method. It's very simple, life-changing, powerful, and it produces concrete results in your inner world regarding how you want to feel, as well as outer world manifestations around the many things that are very human to want, and things is one of those things. So what I'm going to be talking about today is a new blind spot. What I've been doing during these series is illuminating blind spots, because that's what I do. And when we're talking about blind spots, the way I like to define it is a blind spot occurs when your current point of view hides an essential insight. Now, why is your point of view so important? Well, this is because everything that I teach is based in a very powerful, profound concept that you can find in quantum physics, metaphysics, art, nature, spirituality, and it's this idea that your consciousness is the cause of every effect in your reality. Your consciousness creates your reality. So what's your consciousness? Your consciousness is everything that happens in your inner world. But when you're a hardworking, goal-oriented person, you might be a major thinker and you might be an action taker, but your consciousness is focused outside of you. And what that does is it keeps the things that you want always in a state of what I want is outside of me, separate from me. That's your consciousness. I'm hunting for it on the horizon. I'm a relentless seeker, and that keeps you working hard, seeking all the time, and separate from what you want. However, when you know how to receive, which means that you actually stop the hard work and tap into this incredibly natural skill set that every one of us has, but it has become absent and malnourished for many of us. It's unfamiliar. When you tap into the receiving skill set, then you can finally stop the hard work and receive what you've been working so hard for. So a receiving blind spot occurs when you operate more as a human doing versus a human being. Doing and hard work is what most of us do really well, at least the people that hang out in my orbit. And human beingness, which is what you are, which is why it's so simple, we've actually disconnected from how being a human being could actually produce the results that you want in your life. And we're talking concrete: money, jobs, relationships, pregnancies, homes, opportunities, resources, breakthroughs, all kinds of things like that, as well as these inner longings that we so want: peace, freedom, confidence, purpose, joy. So I've put all of these receiving teachings and wisdoms into my brand new Receive Oracle cards, which are coming out May 5th, if you can see them in the light. And today's particular topic is inspired by the Receive Things card. So there it is, if you can see it. So with that, I'm going to give you your willingness mantra, which activates the power of invitation. And then I'm going to unpack today's blind spot. And I really look forward to feel free to comment and share or reach out to me and let me know if this resonates for you. So human beings are invitation based. In other words, you receive simply because you exist, like the majestic tree. When you're operating as a human doing, you're intention based, like the hunter. That's a lot of hard work. So when you activate the power of invitation, you simply put your attention on the thing that you most want, rather than all the things you think you need to do. So here's a mantra that you can take on and practice as often as you like if there's something that you want. I am willing to expand in my capacity to receive the fulfillment that is already here. I am willing to expand in my capacity to receive the fulfillment that is already here. So, what's today's blind spot? Today's blind spot is what I call the wanting blind spot. And so when you're operating as a human doing, you might have a lot of wanting or desire going on around the thing that you want, because that's what we do. It's like we identify a want and then we start to go after it. Now, because blind spots are blind to us, I always like to give some clues. So you know that the wanting blind spot might be sabotaging your efforts to receive that thing that you want if your wanting feels bad. Isn't that an interesting idea? We want things, but have you ever thought about, well, wanting this thing sometimes makes me feel bad. Now, sometimes wanting makes you feel good. You want this thing, you're excited and you're inspired. Then the flow gates to the thing that you want is open because there's no resistance. But when your wanting feels bad, then the wanting blind spot might be the thing that's sabotaging you. So let's talk a little bit about why it is that sometimes wanting feels good and wanting feels bad. Wanting feels bad. There's a number of reasons, but I'm going to just give you 3 ways of looking at this and see if this resonates for you, especially if there's a thing that you want and you're feeling like the wanting feels bad. Hi, Andrew. Great to see you. Okay, so here's the thing. Lack, belief, and the past. So what does that mean? Sometimes when we want a thing and it feels bad, it's because underneath the wanting, we're actually believing in lack. The mind and the belief system will say, I want this thing, but it feels bad because I don't have it yet. I don't know if I can have it. I don't even believe it's possible. Or is this incongruency between the desire and the actual belief or this idea that there's a way to actually receive it into your life. So there's this overarching feeling of lack around the thing that you want. Another reason that wanting can feel bad is when you have a belief that wanting in itself has some sort of suffering or disappointment built into it. And so some people misinterpret teachings around desire in a way that makes wanting feel bad. Like there are some teachings that say that desire is the root of all suffering. Now, it's not the desire that's the problem. It's not the wanting that's the problem. It's, again, the belief that you can't have it, or the belief that something more needs to happen before you can receive that wanting. But what if you came to understand that wanting is simply this experience that arises within you, and it doesn't mean what you think it means. It doesn't mean that there's lack. It doesn't mean that you have to do anything. You get to start to let go of these ideas that wanting is the root of all suffering, and you can invite the experience of wanting with a new perspective, again, illuminating the blind spot. The final reason, at least for today, that I'm going to talk about why wanting can actually feel bad is when you have past experiences of wanting and it hurting because you didn't receive it, or you never were able to receive it, or you have these beliefs of, I just don't get to have what I want, it's okay for other people. So past experiences about wanting that have been either disappointing or challenging, or you received what you want and then it disappeared, more associations with wanting that can feel bad. Okay, here's the thing to know about when wanting feels bad. When wanting feels bad to you, this will block the flow. This creates resistance. I always say that we all have a wanting mechanism, and sometimes what happens is we won't even let ourselves want what we want because all of this stuff takes over before the want or the desire even has room to breathe. All right, so how do we open the flow gates when this is occurring? Well, back to part 1, which I invite you to go revisit, I talked about a 4-step method that really allows these things to come in. Okay, so you can go back and revisit that. And one of the things that I talked about is the energy of savoring. Okay, savoring the feeling that you believe that thing will give you, because that's the essence versus the form. And when you connect to how you already have that feeling right here, right now, regardless of that thing, connected to other experiences in your life, you start to nurture the consciousness of, I have this physical experience, I have this essence right here, right now. That right here, right now, and the physical embodiment is what allows you to see in your physical world, having that thing that you want in the physical world right now. So that's the energy of savoring. Okay, that's when wanting feels good. You connect with inspiration, you connect with possibility, you connect with excitement, and all of that resistance falls away. So savoring is one of the ways that you keep the flow gates open. When wanting feels good, when you feel inspired, you simply receive it and you do what's in front of you. The other thing that really helps the flow gate stay open, especially when wanting feels bad, is to practice soothing. So it's savoring and soothing. And one of the ways that we soothe ourselves when wanting feels bad is we practice being unselective about what we receive. So let me give you an example. I have a client who decided, with 2021, she goes, Sonia, I mean it. I'm really putting my energy on manifesting some of the things that I want. And I've been really writing about the things that I want and why I want them and connecting with the essence. And she wrote me the other day and she says, I need a quick manifestation tip. What if I start to get things in the physical world, because I've been really staying in this general feeling place of essence and connecting with that. What if things start to show up in my physical world and I start to get attached, and then it starts to feel bad because I start to connect to lack and I'm afraid that it's not going to happen? And what I told her is practice receiving all of it. All of it. So as some of you may know, I teach the 3-step receive method, ALI. So first you become aware of what is here now. So I gave her some examples. I said, receive. I am aware that I'm excited about this thing. And I'm aware that I'm afraid that this thing isn't going to come through. And I'm afraid that the past is going to happen again. And I'm afraid that I'm going to want this and it's just not going to work out and it's going to fall through and I'm going to be really sad. And I receive, and I'm aware that I'm attached to this. And I receive this idea that I shouldn't be attached to it. And I receive all the ways that my monkey mind's going crazy. You just keep receiving everything, everything, everything. Okay, you allow it to be here. So that's the awareness. And then here's a really important piece. L, let it all be here. Just let it be here. Breathe into it. Give it lots and lots of space so that all of this swirl around wanting, the things that feel good and the things that don't feel good, can land. What happens when you let these things be here and land? You're offering no resistance. Resistance, what you resist persists. The battle persists when you battle what you are receiving now. Let it be here. Put down this shield and put down this sword of hard work and hunting. Let it be here. And really just give it space. Breathe. And then invitation I. What else is possible now? How does it get even better than this? Or you can use the I of this card, the receive things card. Willingness. I am willing to expand in my capacity to receive the fulfillment that is already here. And just stay open. As you do, what happens is that the space that you receive things from life into stays open and the flow occurs. So whatever you receive, you keep receiving. And then as far as action goes, you do what's in front of you. One of the things that I love to illuminate about the cause and effect of receiving is when you're in hunter mode, cause and effect looks very linear. A plus B equals C. So I think about this plan and I execute this plan and I take some action and then the outcome happens. But in the world of receiving, cause and effect is messy and miracles happen in the messy. So you might be practicing a way of being over here and then something will pop up seemingly over there. It looks like there's no cause and effect, but that's only because the mind doesn't connect the dots. but your way of being absolutely invites what it is that you have your attention on. Where your attention goes, the energy flows. So I hope this blind spot illumination was helpful for you. Practice it. Practice receiving everything. Practice being unselective and just see what shows up. And if you have any questions, if you want to go deeper, just keep checking out all the other Rise and Receives. There's plenty of them on my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Click the red subscribe button. You'll receive the next video. I'll let you know when it's available. And also you can click like and subscribe. If you liked it, please share and subscribe. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. And if you want to take some next steps, I invite you to do either or both of these. Pre-order your own Receive Oracle cards. They're coming out May 5th, and you will receive a gift companion workbook to enrich your experience. If you order by then, receiveCardDeck.com to pre-order yours now. And if you're ready to go deeper with learning the skill set of receiving, which is life-changing, easy, and as you unlearn struggle, the receiving simply happens, go check out receivecourse.com and see all of the beautifully inspiring stories about what people receive in their lives. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.